Flips the camera, turns off the video. Take this thing into the computer and see if we can update this a little bit. See what we're doing here. Oh, it's warm in here. There we are. Caesar, Once Upon a City. Sally, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I'm curious whether I can hear myself think. Go away. Spirit in the Sky. Let's see if we have any sound here, first of all. Always curious. Using this Bluetooth microphone. Let's see if we have. Yeah, we have sound. So we're on the boat. It's raining. I have to go and get a piece from the car to put the cockpit cover together better. But if we don't get too much wind, then we're going to be okay. Live on the boat. Okay, let's stick up the drop link, type. Show link to drop link. Okay, let's pin this message. So Once Upon a City. So I saw you yesterday when you were at the accident site on Danforth, and now it's all in the news, and it said 3 people are hurt. So I'm trying to figure out who ran into who and how did they do it. Because the problem with the news, of course, is that you never get all the details that you really want, right? They just sort of give you a Pibble. Thank you for coming aboard. As I say, it's raining out. It's warm. I'm very warm, sweating a little bit. So let's see what comes up here. Let me Phil Lesh. Thank you for coming aboard. Nice to see you. Quint, there's nobody named Quint here. Quint has left the building. Quint has left the building. He, anyway, so I was down taking some pictures for my Adobe project, and that got rained out about halfway through. So I did accomplish something, but not as much as I wanted to before. Let's see how long this rain lasts. It was supposed to actually thunderstorm all day here, and that hasn't been the case. Let's just change the thumbnail here. Do I have a decent thumbnail? Yeah, that's a good thumbnail. And it's going to cook on the boat in the rain live. Okay, let's save that, and then let's get back to the chat and see what people have to say about anything. Let's watch this on another channel here, just to see what things look like. There you are. Okay, that's nice. So I don't really want to sit inside here all evening because I'm going to melt. I'm going to see if we can bring the camera outside. Pink KTV. And thank you for coming aboard. Yes, we will depart. 3 hours. Hopefully we don't run it into a rock. Is that what happened on Gilligan's Island? You know, as a kid, we couldn't afford a TV, so I never saw Gilligan's Island in the past. And did start watching it on Prime. Is it on Prime or Netflix? One of them. And it's underwhelming. It was underwhelming, but you know, I guess it's a little bit of learning about the art of the day. Now I'm watching That Girl, which is again 60s TV, but it's in color. Gilligan's Island was not in color. What am I doing here? I forget what I was doing. I know what I remember doing. So as I say, it's 3-hour cruise, and my understanding is that people do okay, and maybe we should if you're gonna spam the thing, then let's take the wrench away. Thank you for coming aboard. The thanks, Spirit in the Blue in the Sky. Thanks for moderating there. But so Once Upon a City. So did you find out who ran into who with the taxi story on Danforth? That was it was the weirdest thing. She was going live in the evening. I guess it was 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I was working on some photo project, and watching lives, in this case, Once Upon a City live, and it was the weirdest thing to see. Okay, second coming, thank you for coming, but we're probably not ready for that interaction. So the motorcyclist was struck, is what they're saying. Hey, love child. Hey, Cali Chickens, thank you for coming aboard. Second coming. Sorry, we've put you in timeout. It was the weirdest thing, is to say, watching almost an accident happening in real time. That was the weirdest thing. I guess it's like, you know, on Google Google Earth, like once in a while you see things that people don't want anybody to see. I remember once I saw the Google van coming down the road, or Google car coming down the road, and I ran out in the front porch and waved at it, and then kept checking to see if they'd updated the pictures. That was kind of. Yeah, they see people robbing things and houses on fire and car accidents, all that. But to see one live on YouTube was really really amazing, really interesting. The right now we're letting anybody comment. If it gets too hectic, we'll go back to subscribers only and see if that slows down the unnecessary traffic. So I'm going to take the camera and put it outside because I don't really want to see me. I've seen me before, and you've seen me before. And let's see if we can pick up something outside without picking up too much rain. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so that's the outside world as we know it. We should be able to see swans if they come by. Backtrack. Thank you for coming aboard. And I should be able to sit inside to some extent and monitor the chat with the remote microphone and still keep talking. Yeah, so we'll see what we see outside in terms of something more exciting. There's a wrench. Backtrack. It's not very dark out. It's the picture is a little bit depressing. It's not super dark out. But in this weather, we might be lucky if we see a couple of swans coming by for a bite to eat. So let's see what we get. It's summer. It's better than snow. You know, if I look in one direction, I see clouds that have already got a little bit back afternoon, evening sunset tint to them, and I see darker clouds on the other side. So we'll see what the evening's like. It was originally supposed to be thunderstorms as well, and the thunderstorms never materialized, which is good, because thunderstorms, you know, I'm sitting on a boat here with a 30-foot lightning rod to attract the lightning, and not where we really want to be today. So what else is new? Did go sailing on the weekend. Had some guests, and it was a beautiful sail. Not a lot of wind, 6 knots, so that's 6 miles an hour, 12 kilometers an hour. But it was a good angle from the south, so it allowed us to on one tack, one port tack, all the way out to Hanlon's Point, Point, I guess, Gibraltar Point, Hanlon's Beach, and the Red Boy there, and then turned around and thought of going to visit the lighthouse at Leslie Spit, but that the wind angle was wrong, and didn't want to invest that much effort in tacking twice to get there. Joji, thank you for coming aboard. Haven't seen you in a long. That's not true. I saw you last week. Dancing Up a Storm, the Joji the Guapa Girl, absolutely amazing, amazing entertainer, amazing dancer, very very nice chat community, and and good music in the background. So sometimes you just turn on the background and let it keep on keeping on, and and a wonderful way to entertain. And she's got a friend, the Old Fart Gaming, who is a gamer that also has an interesting channel. So definitely check out Joji, the amazing person. So I Google translated. Guapa means beautiful, and yeah, absolutely right, absolutely right. Anyway, so the sailing was beautiful sailing. Changed the arrangement for the downhaul on the mainsail to make it a bit easier to manage it if I can't get guests involved. Although I did get somebody to hoist up the main. What's that song about beach wars? See how the mainsail sets. And it was a good sail. So we got out to Hanlan's Point. It was about 2.5 hours. So it wasn't a 3-hour cruise. I did think it was going to be longer. I thought there was going to be less wind, and I thought the wind angle was going to be slightly different. And a fair number of other boats out there. Nothing super exciting. I thought we saw one set of people running into each other. Yeah, I don't know if the rain has passed or not. I'm sitting inside talking. I'm actually going to go and just change the angle of that camera a little bit and see what the weather is actually doing. Let's change the angle of this just a little bit. First of all, it's crooked. And we're going to pull it forward a little bit more so that we have less of that cover blocking the view. And we're going to put it here. Is that straight? That's relatively straight. That's relatively straight. So there we are. That does look like the rain is. Well, no, there's still rain clouds here. Although I see a very bright patch to the south. Oh, I see a piece of blue sky to the northeast, and a whole bunch of gray to the east. And in Toronto, when the wind is from the east, it means we're going to get bad weather. So let me bring the computer out onto the deck, and we'll sit outside for a while. It's too warm in here. What do we got? It's water. So here we've got some water. Rusty Rivers, thank you for coming aboard. Thank you for coming aboard. I haven't seen you in a little bit. I apologize. I haven't been out to your channel in a little bit as well. I started following a guy named Glacier Shark. And so he's a fisherman up in Alaska. And interesting stories about being out on the water in a workboat. So that's been one of the things that I've been pursuing. Let me take this bottle of water, put it up on the deck. Take the computer. The phone's waterproof. I'm not sure about the computer being waterproof, so we'll try not to get it too wet. And for dessert, we're going to have an O'Henry bar. O'Henry bars were on sale this week, so I got myself another stash of them. And when you leave them on the boat in the cabin, they get all mungy tasting. So I do put them in the fridge, and they have to thaw out because they're going to be hard as a rock. So you hear that? Hard as a rock. But yeah, dessert is going to be an O'Henry bar. Let's take this out. Ooh, hope I didn't jerk it too hard. Yeah, there's my. Let's open the table. If it starts raining, we can't leave the computer on there. Yeah, Katrina Nightbot does keep track of too many emojis, so be nice. Some people like emojis. I use a couple at a time, but too many just fills the space. And yeah, so Martin J, thank you for coming aboard. I was at your channel during the week. Some good stuff there. I thought you were mainly a cooking and food channel, and now it looks like traveling. So I liked it. I liked it. Yeah, Once Upon a City. So she's in Toronto and does walking tours, and there's a bunch of people doing that, but her commentary resonates the most with me, and it goes places that I've never been, and goes places that I know well. So Danforth, I know well, from Vic Park to the Don Valley, and but you get another person's perspective on the restaurants and the businesses and the people and the crazy taxi drivers running into the motorcycles, and the motorcycles running into the crazy taxi drivers. You never know which is which. The traffic in Toronto is crazy. The people that drive in Toronto are equally crazy. So there's not a lot of redeeming qualities for them, but it's yeah. It was when I saw that accident happening, it was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest thing. So yeah. So the sailing. So. Wanted to get out to the tip of Leslie Spit. Haven't been there this year because there's an old lighthouse there that is no longer active. There's an old lighthouse in Toronto on Center Island that is said to be haunted. I don't know if it actually is. I've never been in it, but I've been around it, and it does have a bit of a haunted vibe. There's an old lighthouse on pardon me, on Lakeshore Boulevard at Fleet, that used to be on the waterfront, and now it's just a sort of a relic, and it's kind of boring looking color. It's historic, but it does nothing for you. It's the middle of a streetcar loop at Front and Bathurst, so that's kind of a waste of time. I found an interesting lighthouse in Port Credit. We're out there for dinner at the Snug Harbor, I think is the name of that restaurant. Very nice waterfront restaurant next to the the marina there, not Mississauga Marina. Oh, why am I forgetting it? Anyway, the marina, the big. Hey, Grizzly Warrior, thank you for coming aboard. I did listen to most of your last. I don't. Was it a live or was it a premiere? And then drifted off into something else. The Port Credit Marina, maybe that's what it's called, Port Credit Marina. So it's big marina in Mississauga that is next to a park, and the most amazing thing about it is that it has free parking, and quite a bit of it. And so even on a hot summer day, it only takes 2 or 3 tours around the parking lot to find a spot there. So there's a nice lighthouse in Port Credit, and it's been nicely restored, and so it's very cute. Does no good because it's way inland, and by the time you see that lighthouse, you would have run into the rocks. Now, the marina does not have free parking. The marina does charge for parking, but I parked in there when I've done business in the marina or visited boats in the marina. Then it is free if you get inside there, but it's not free for but there's a government, city, a municipal parking lot right at the end of that road that comes off of Lakeshore that goes to the Snug Harbor restaurant, and yeah, so that's a nice lighthouse. I'm trying to think of what other lighthouses there are in this area. I mean, there's some lighthouses. The Hamilton Pier has a lighthouse. Whitby Pier, Port Credit, Pickering Pier has a lighthouse, but they're basically just round pipes with a light on top, and they're actually usable lighthouses because they tell you where the end of that pier is. And I know the Pickering, the pier to Frenchman's Bay. I sailed. I just bought a new boat, not new, but new to me. So the boat was probably about 25 years old already. It was a Northern 25 at the time. I just upgraded from an O'Day 19, and there's a breakwater there, a stone wall in the water that protects the harbor, and there's a lighthouse at the end of that, and of course. They say, you know, if you go sailing, you're supposed to check your surroundings and know where you're going, but I had no clue, and almost did run on top of the rocks without thinking about the fact that the lighthouse was marking the end of them. So that's a lighthouse that's worth knowing. I mean, there's nice lighthouses in Nova Scotia, Peggy's Cove, very touristy. Is it a pretty lighthouse? Frenchie, thank you for dropping by. Welcome aboard. I've seen prettier lighthouses. There's a swallow almost came on board, but it's got the tourist hook that everybody goes out to Peggy's Cove to. Hey, Stitch fan, thank you for coming aboard. Maybe I'm jaded or just ornery, one or the other. Hey, Stitch fan, subscribed. I'll check your stuff out in more detail later. So at Peggy's Cove, I expect, like, all the pictures of the rocks are so red. They're not so red. The lighthouse is your basic East Coast lighthouse. So it was underwhelming. The other thing I remember about Peggy's Cove, and it's been a few years, is that if you look at all of the pictures, like Peggy's Cove, once you come into the harbor, it's a fishing harbor. And if you look at all of the photos, the colors of the boats are so brilliant and so saturated, and it looks like, in today's terms, it was created by AI. in those days. We didn't have AI in those days. And when I looked at it, the boats are all, it's like here, they're nice boats, but none of these boats are exciting. They're white, right? What do you expect? The other place where there's a nice lighthouse, if I remember correctly, is the Goderich Harbor. I've been out there to do a music video for a guy a musician that plays out of there, Dave McAdam Road. I think I've got him linked on YouTube somewhere for one of the videos, or both, two of the videos that we did for him. And that is a working lighthouse. It's a little bit in from the water's edge as well. So I'm not sure that it will prevent anybody from running into the rocks there. But it is maintained as a historical landmark kind of thing. And that was, the Goderich experience was good with Dave. We went up on a freighter and recorded him playing guitar in the bridge of the freighter, and then went out on a tugboat and took a tugboat around the harbor, and that happened to be run by his father at the time. So the family ran tugboats, and so we got some good tugboat rides around the harbor. So that was a wonderful experience. Did it a couple of times. I'm just going to move this camera. I don't think we're going to get any more rain. I'm going to rotate that around and let that go out there, and we'll see. Oh, I see a swan way in the distance. I don't think you can see it on the camera. Let's just go out there, but we'll just get a look out in that direction. A little bit more interesting than looking straight back, and we might end up with a bit of boat activity out there as well. I thought our neighbor was in for the evening, but he's given up because of the rain. I don't want to impinge on anybody's privacy. So yeah, so you can see the clouds out there in full. And if you look really closely, there's a little white blob. That is a swan. Maybe the light from that boat is in the way from where the camera sees it. Right, that's right under the light on the bow of that boat. So, yeah. So lighthouses. So the deck in Nova Scotia, Brador Lakes, Bedeck. There's a pretty lighthouse there that you see right from the shore. That goes into that main pier, the government pier at Bedeck. Another great place if you're out in the east coast. A couple of good restaurants, lobsters. Of course, it's a lobster haven. Oysters, mussels. Seafood. No, it's right by the sea, so of course they're going to have seafood. Where else have I seen good lighthouses? In the States? Nowhere in Florida that I've been has there been lighthouses. New York, never seen a lighthouse in New York. Boston, can't remember any lighthouses in Boston. I guess that's the only place. California, no lighthouses. Nice piers, Santa Monica Pier, nice piers out there. Michigan, no, I've never seen any, never been to that part of the Great Lakes. Neither sailing or visiting. Chicago on the waterfront, I remember working there many, many years ago for a project for a couple of days. That's as close as This is good. Arizona Jake, thank you for coming aboard. You haven't worn yourself out yet? You still got enough energy to type? Good to see you. Good to see you. What's the favorite letter of the alphabet? A. A, but it's spelled E-H. We're Canadian. A. Jake does these amazing workouts. For his lives anyway. I get worn out just watching. You get worn out just watching. So thank you for coming aboard. If you're looking for workouts, decent looking man. If I can put it that way, without getting in trouble. Good evening. Hey, Harm's Way. Thank you for coming aboard. Thank you for coming aboard. I keep checking and I still don't see another video there. I want to see your current boat out on the water. So it's summer's almost over, but thank you for coming aboard. Nice to see you. There's a boat for sale. Just 2 boats over there. I have no idea what they want for it. It's a 25 something. Not sure what it is. Very European square bow, open transom. Not looking for a new boat, and definitely not looking for a smaller boat. If I have a bigger boat, then that might be an option. The letter C. I'm trying to think of why the letter C. At SCA, well, we're in a lake, so it's not really the sea. Old Man of the Sea. Yeah, so it looks really gray in the picture as far as I can see it. But where I'm sitting, there's actually a bit of blue sky right overhead. Now, which way is it blowing? I can't really tell. The wind is from the south, but I think the clouds are moving to the north, so it's moving to the south. So the wind is, upper level winds are different than the low level winds. Yeah, and the sun is bouncing off the clouds. I keep saying the sunset. We don't see a nice sunset here because it's blocked by trees and marina buildings. But I can see the reflection of the sun on the clouds to the south, so they're hidden a little bit from the view of the camera. So those swans don't look like they're coming for a visit, but there's a bunch of swallows flying by, and I swear a couple of them almost looked like they were going to come on board. So there's a plane flying overhead, so we're going to get a little bit of noise for a few minutes. It's the evening porter rush out of the Toronto Island Airport. I guess they're going to be busy if Air Canada shut down for a few days with the flight attendant strike, assuming that it gets to that point. It's a busy little airport. This boat was in National Yacht Club for years, which is right across from the airport. So there's more noise because you hear the noise of the propellers winding up as as they're getting ready to taxi, and then you hear the noise of the engines winding up on the runway. And so here all we get is the noise for the 30 seconds when the plane's overhead. and most planes seem to fly directly overhead. Every once in a while, we'll get one that heads off in a slightly different direction. So I guess they're allowed different angles of takeoff. Maybe it depends on whether they're heading for Montreal or New York or Boston or into the States, which direction they'll head out in. So the noise isn't bad. It's part of the environment. And because we're not the marina is a little sort of industrial, abandoned industrial area, we don't get a lot of visitors either. So there's not a lot of car traffic, and not a lot of partiers. Every once in a while there's partiers. Somebody on the dock on the weekend on Saturday or Sunday really looked like you should have stopped drinking an hour before, and you always have this fear that somebody will fall in and that won't be good for them. But it's a nice place, and it was industrial in the 40s and 50s. It's all shut down. Eventually, it'll become residential in the next 50 years, because why not? If they don't want to put industry in the city, then you might as well put residential. So let's see if this O. Henry bar has melted enough that it'll work as for dessert. So pardon me if there's some O. Henry bar munching sounds. The other thing that Harmsway and Rusty Rivers will relate to possibly is I've had trouble with the speedometer on this boat. So the speedometer is a little propeller wheel on the bottom that measures the flow of the water going by to tell you how fast the boat's going. And end of last year it stopped working. So I assume it got algae or seaweed or something in it. Cleaned it out over the winter, put it in the water, didn't work. But last weekend, it started working. So obviously the piece of seaweed fell out. Now in theory, the way this speedometer wheel is designed, you can take it out from the inside to clean it or deal with it, service it. But the problem is when you take it out, it leaves a hole in the bottom of the boat. And there's a plug that you're supposed to go into where the hole is so that it doesn't flood the boat and sink it. But I have this vision of it, either the plug not fitting because it hasn't been taken out in ever, or me not getting it in fast enough, or it not sealing properly. And then what do you do? So here, if it's in the marina, you stuff something in there and motor around. There's a crane that lifts boats out, so it lifts out for a whole $150 for half an hour, and then deal with it. So I've just been going by on a wish and a prayer, and my prayer was answered, and the speedometer works. I also have a GPS-based speedometer, which is based on the satellites, but that measures the speed over ground. So there's an angle. If you're moving at an angle at the same time, then that isn't recorded in the speed, whereas the speed through the water is slightly different. Both are good measurements, but Charlene, thank you for coming aboard. We're looking for swans. I haven't seen the swan that used to sit at the edge, right at the end of where this This is looking, has moved, but it hasn't decided to come for a visit. So 18 likes, wonderful. Appreciate that. So hopefully you can hear me as I take off the microphone because I'm enjoying my O. Henry bar. I can hear a few birds. But not that much. The red-winged blackbirds aren't here to make their noises. Yeah, the rain looks like it's totally given up because now the patch of blue sky is way down there. I think eventually we're going to be able to see the blue sky in the camera. And you see a few people coming by. There's a boat coming in now. Not coming into this slip, but it's working its way along the shore. I guess people went out sailing because it was a nice breeze, and then the rain hit around 6:30, so that probably put a crimp in a lot of people's plans for going for a longer sail. There's a big cruiser next to me, not next to me, 2 boats over, that was gone for most of the week, so I wonder where they went. Long sailing trip. But they're back. I hear some birds coming by now. A duck? No. You usually see a lot of ducks by this time of the evening as well. So maybe the rain changes the way the birds react. That swan is gone now, so it's not at the end of the fairway anymore. So he's not coming to visit. Oh, we got a red-winged blackbird. You can see him in the camera now. Can't you see he's next to the flag on the boat next door? And he's gone. I guess it's a she. It's the red, because
male red-winged blackbird has a really bright red wing, and the female the red is more muted. I guess so they can hide better. Yeah, so the sailing trip, as I say, we never did make it out to the island, to the lighthouse. It I thought you went sailing.
I'm waiting for the rain to stop.
Yeah.
Our docks here are filled. The others are half empty. But there are beautiful boats.
Absolutely. I'm online here.
This is Hampton, right? This is Hampton?
Yeah.
So now there's blue sky almost overhead. So yeah, you can. I moved the camera a little bit so now you can see more of it. It. I say the neighbor's there, and I don't want to get him too much into our fun and games experience. Okay, let's turn that there so we still see some. Oh my God! Look at the color though. That light reflected off of the water, the sunset. Yeah, so it's all blue. It's all blue overhead. Okay, Once Upon a City, thank you for dropping by. We'll catch you at the next accident. Appreciate it. Appreciate the visit. Yeah, so I keep saying we don't have decent sunsets, but look at the color of that sky. On the phone, it looks really bright. On the computer, it looks okay. It's going to be a nice evening. We'll see how much if we actually get any more rain, or if this is it. This is it for the day. Yeah, neighbor wanted to take his dog for a sail, and then with the rain, he abandoned it. So, is there any wind? A little bit of wind. I can see it. I see the wind instruments turning a little bit. So it's not so bad. Ooh, we've got 2 more bites of O. Henry bar. Let's have that while we're waiting for something exciting to happen. You know, I've always wanted to, pardon me, take a picture of a swallow in flight, because they have that nice V shape, and but they're so fast. And for once in a while, they were sitting on, for a while, they were sitting on the railing, pooping on the boat, making a mess, but still sitting so close enough that you got a good look at them. And I thought I'd be able to bring the camera out and just aim it at them and then catch them when they're taking off from sitting to whatever it is they're doing next. Seagull just went overhead. I don't know if the camera picked them up or not. But they're not, they when they're jumping off the railing and starting flying, they don't have that beautiful V shape of their tail. So I guess that's where the word swallowtail came from, right? Because of the shape of the of their tail. The probably have to wait for like a nice midday when they're out hunting for food and they had enough for the day, and they'll come by and sit and relax for a while. The saw a couple goldfinches on the beach a couple days ago. There's a spot there that there's a thing called the Balmy Beach Club. It's the Balmy Beach Canoe Club, really, and it was designed for people who canoe, and they did some competitive athletics, and so there's a little sunflower garden that's billed as a monarch garden. But this time, so yesterday, it was yesterday, maybe the day before, there's these two goldfinches, and they're so bright yellow that were flying around through the flowers and up into the trees. And again, impossible to take a picture of because they move so fast. But it was amazing how bright and yellow those birds were. They and then you go over closer to the flowers, you figure, okay, they're going to come back, but they never do. Either I scared them off or somebody else scared them off. Yeah, it is pretty. They're not big sunflowers. Like there's another sunflower garden that has flowers that are a foot and a half across. These are the size of my hand, so it's a big hand, but still. But there's, I guess, a botanical society of gardeners in the area that wants to encourage monarch butterflies, and apparently monarch butterflies like we got an airplane overhead. Monarch butterflies like sunflowers, and I guess bumblebees. There's really big bumblebees. And then in the fall, the squirrels go up and eat the seeds. So it's sort of really a multi-purpose garden for a variety of wildlife. And people that come by and just want to watch it and look at it and say, this is really pretty. But certainly when you sit there, the challenge is that the wasps and the bumblebees might decide that they'd like to take a bite of you, as well as the plants. So it's interesting. Now the wind is completely from the east. So when it was raining, the wind was from the east. When I came down to take pictures for this Adobe project, the wind is from the west. And I opened the hatches and got a nice breeze inside. I have to remember to close the hatches. And then when the rain started, I guess the wind changed completely, so that it started blowing wind in the door.
Got a bit of water in the boat. No, it's not. Water won't hurt it. Not that amount of water. But it was getting me wet as well, so I had to close the hatches and put up this cover that keeps the rain off of the cockpit. Or on the beach, we're talking to a woman that says that they're taking pictures for this Adobe project, and talking to a woman that came by that has friends that are photographers, and on a good event day, so like solar eclipse, or at certain times of the year, there is a lifeguard station on the beach, and there is a smokestack at an old factory to the west of it. And at one point in the evening on sunset, the sun will line up right over top of both of them. So it almost looks like a painting. And so if you go down there in the evening on those days, you'll see like 20 photographers all in a row with their cameras pointed at the sky, waiting for just that second where the sun is correctly lining up with the buildings and the stacks. There's it happens in New York, and it happens in Toronto as well. And in Toronto, it's in September. I'm not sure when it's in New York. And it's referred to as a Stonehenge effect. So Stonehenge, I understand, is designed so the sun shines through the stones at certain points in time and does something, tells the time or whatever Stonehenge is supposed to do. But at certain times in Toronto, there's major east-west roadways lined by a lot of office buildings. And so the photographer community will get down there on the specific days where the sun is just low enough in the sky that it will be included in a picture of looking down streets like King Street, Queen Street, Front Street. So these are major east-west streets that the sun will shine through the buildings and create this Stonehenge effect. I think New York is the same thing. There's east-west streets where that happens as well. And the photographers get out and line up, and they're looking for that rare picture where things line up just perfectly. And then there's always Photoshop. So if you can't get the sun to line up in real life, then you can Photoshop the sun in and create your own artificial reality, your own artificial intelligence of what you'd want the sun to look like. And speaking of photography, so I want to, I got to figure out how to do this. I haven't gotten that far in my thinking yet. But I want some photos of this boat anchored. There's a cove in Lister Spit, just 5 minutes from here, that's surrounded by green trees. And so the boat in the water, it would make a wonderful picture taken from the water. And I've got to figure out how I'm going to do that. And basically I have to find somebody with a dinghy that will motor out and take a few pictures almost in a 360. Now, you'd say a plan B would be a drone, but I don't have a drone. And technically you can't fly a drone in this area because of the airport approaches. Gimbal mount on a dinghy doesn't even need to be gimbal because it doesn't need to be video. stills is good enough from 4 or 5 different angles. So basically, if you're doing a donut around my boat from a dinghy and just keep aiming the camera at the boat, it would give you what I'm looking for. So I've got to find the dinghy person and either use my camera or their camera and go around in circles. So that's a project for the summer. At one point, because I don't have to be actually on the boat, but so I suppose I could anchor the boat, and then the dinghy person could ride me around in a circle to take pictures. Yeah, the guy I bought this boat from, he had a dinghy, but the deal that he offered didn't include the boat. I think I probably could have got it for almost nothing, because once he sold his sailboat, what's the point of having a dinghy? So I assume it was an 8-9 foot high-field Zodiac. Not even sure what it was. 1 meter, in my opinion, that's too short. That's 3 feet. I know that the auto parts stores here carry 5 foot blow-up boats. That so 2 meters is 6 feet. So that's getting probably as small as I'd feel comfortable with. I mean, when people ask me what I want for Christmas, I say a 24-foot Zodiac, but that hasn't materialized yet. We used to have West Marine in Canada. Now they've abandoned the Canadian market and went back to the States. But West Marine had good deals on dinghies when they were here, but never bought one. So so that's the thing I'm looking for, and I'm looking for sort of that very artistic photo of the boat sitting there. You got to find the sky that's really the right color, and figure out the right distance. Oh, he's going out for a sail, so I guess take the dog for a sail. The wind is enough wind and no more rain. So 26 Pearson. So yeah, so big boat on a 26. I had a 25 out of 27. Here, I see a lot of smaller boats. We'll put the dinghy in front of the mast, and that seems that it gets in the way of the jib. So but that provides a secure storage. If you have a hatch for the V-berth, then it blocks the sun. Other people here, they just tow the boats. Now at ICW, if you're getting busy, then you're towing a boat, then it does weird things in terms of people getting in each other's ways. But there's a few people here with davits. The davits I see are all, in my opinion, too flimsy. And I was watching one boat here. It was CNC 29, and he was hoisting a dinghy, maybe 9-footer, up the back, and I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing the davits start to bend a little bit. So you're worried that he's going to drop the whole thing in the water. Yeah, davits on a small boat don't make a lot of sense, except they provide storage that you don't get on a smaller boat. There's a few people, I guess I've never seen it on a sailboat, more on motorboats that put the dinghy sideways across the stern. I'm not sure what holds them up. I guess a davit arrangement of some kind as well. The neighbor's heading out. Hope he has a good wind. Oh, I see the flags moving, and okay, the computer's complaining that it wants power. So let's go get a power cord. I thought it was charged, but I guess I wasn't paying attention. All I gotta do is see if I can find where I left the power supply. Power supply, extension cord. I guess it works better if the extension cord is plugged in. Battery charger for the... Oh, it is plugged in. There's a battery charger for the portable radio that was blocking the what I could see there. Let's get some power for this computer and make it happy. Alright, so you've gone sailing. Let's see. Okay, so now the computer has decided to shut itself down. Let's power it up. See, I'm back. Okay, so there was some excitement there. We had a last piece of O. Henry bar. Yeah, I can't totally imagine the Pearson 26, but I can imagine 26 feet quite well. There's a head 25 and a head 27, so somewhere in between. The okay, so the computer came back completed. That's interesting. Even though it said it wanted to shut down because of the I know people that have built wooden dinghies, 7-8 feet. I think it was the guy who liked working with wood. He the guy that I'm thinking of had an Allberg 29 in the Georgian Bay, and it was very pretty. It was almost like a canoe kind of construction, but good for two people. You didn't have a motor for it; just rode it. The boat was in a marina, so I didn't need to get out to the boat from that perspective. If you're on a ball, yeah, then you need a way of getting there. I mean, I've never had a boat on a mooring ball. I've moored on a ball in various places as a visitor, but have always had the opportunity to have a dock, so that that eliminates the need for a boat to get to your boat, and it gives you the convenience of shore power to keep the fridge running and keep the drinks cold. I want to do. I was talking to a girl on a boat a couple of docks over about air fryers on a boat. So I bought this air fryer, toaster oven kind of air fryer. I want to do a review of that and then look at some recipes for boat food with an air fryer. So the advantage of this air fryer is it's smaller than a basket air fryer. It's smaller because there's no place to keep the thing, and it's less power. So the lowest air fryer, all the air fryers I looked at, basket air fryers, were 1,500 watts, and this one is 1,200 watts. I was a bit disappointed. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be. So it's, but the objective was mainly to have a different vessel, a different vehicle for cooking. Foodies, thank you for coming aboard. Nice to see you. Always a pleasure. We're just talking about air fryers on a boat. So I bought one. Have to do an unboxing, and then have to think of what I'm going to cook on it for that first for that first cooking adventure of the air fryer in the boat. What do we got flying overhead? Some of these noisy little single engine plane heading out to somewhere. 800 watts. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't see one that low. Again, it's only the kind of thing you're going to use here at the dock. But I also didn't want to blow all the fuses on the dock. So as I say, this one's 1,200. I think it's Black & Decker. And I can visualize a few interesting things that can be made on it. So that's going to be a recipe idea for down the road. Interestingly, the number of people that looked at the boat-based recipes, like the boat barbecue recipes, is a lot less than the people that are watching shrimp pasta. So I guess the fewer people with boats than people that eat pasta. So that was a bit of a learning experience as well. I guess, yeah, an RV-based equipment, because there's no difference between a boat and an RV. Space is similar. Many RVs have more space. the issues of energy, whether propane or electricity and shore power. Yeah, in an RV park and a campground, there's going to be power. But if you're parking at Walmart for the evening, where do you get power from? So things like an air fryer aren't going to work that well. Now, I do follow Lauren Landers, whose channel is called just Lauren Landers, and she's got a 50-foot 50-foot something European French in Fort Lauderdale. The family's based in Fort Lauderdale, and she's 2 years of her YouTube adventures were all in Bermuda, and she sailed across from Panama to Fiji apparently now. And one of the things she talked about, now she's got a gazillion followers, so she's making more money on YouTube than I can ever dream of. And she can afford decent batteries, lithium-ion batteries, and decent solar panels. Because one of the things she talked about was that she'd get enough electricity from her solar panels to run a water heater, so she could have a freshwater shower in the boat. So that, to me, that would be the lap of luxury. In a sailboat now. In a motorboat, yeah, if you're running a couple engines running a generator at the same time, it's not that big a deal. And it's easy to have kilowatts of electricity, but in a boat, the only way you're going to get electricity is from the sun or from a wind generator. And it takes a lot of solar panels to create enough power to charge enough batteries that you're going to generate Beneteau. Yes, Beneteau. You're ahead of me there, Pibble. Yeah, no, I followed her. I know I watched her first episodes, but I've probably been following her for 2 years. And I was sort of impressed. I love Fort Lauderdale. Haven't been in a few years, but it's my favorite Florida destination. And I love that Fort Lauderdale, the Bay Marina, that whole area on the intercoastal there. So I was really watching those episodes. I must admit I'm a guy, and one of the things that attracted me was when she did an oil change wearing a thong. So that does add a different level of entertainment value to how to change the oil in a Westerbeek. Is it a Westerbeek diesel in that boat? I can't remember even. Does it have a diesel? I can't even remember if it was an engine. All I was watching was the person changing the oil. So shoot me. But yeah, no, she's. And then if once you start watching that, then the algorithm starts giving you other channels that are similar, of people doing similar things, and I really haven't followed the others because one is enough, and I'm sort of emotionally invested in her adventures. So we'll see. I assume she's got to come back, so there'll be another couple episodes of sailing back from the Fiji back to the to Florida, or back to the Bermuda, Bahamas. So we'll follow that. It's an interesting. Maintenance videos are good, although I haven't had that much excitement of people watching me do an oil change. But the fact that she's doing the oil change wearing a thong bikini is what was riveting. Um, eh, she's a grown woman. She can do what she wants. The followers are a testimony to the fact that people are interested. And people are interested to some extent. I mean, you know, every time I watch somebody do something, I learn something as well. And sometimes I learn how not to do things. Um, you I mean, it's the same watching people fix cars. More people fix cars than fix boats, so it's a bigger audience and more relatable as a result. But and people watch cooking shows, so I'm still trying to figure out how to get 1,000,000 people to watch me making a hamburger. I'm not sure that'll ever happen, so we'll see how that rolls forward. But the next video will be the last weekend's sailing. Today is what, Wednesday? So it could be up tomorrow, Friday morning, at the rate I'm going. And it'll be the highlights. The last video was about a bit the haze over the city, because you could see like the buildings of the city were pretty hazed in for what was otherwise a clear day. This one will be mainly the sailing. So I'm going to see if we can get a light on the deck going a little bit here, see if the solar lights are working, and then flip over to the other side. And it's getting a little bit darker earlier than usual. Let's see if this solar light picked up enough to justify its existence. I think it did. Let's see. This other light on in here. I kept saying I was going to buy a decent solar lantern, and that has not yet happened. And I found an old one that I had, but it's not lighting up, so I guess either the battery is dead. It's probably 5 or 6 years old. We'll move over to the other side and see if we get enough light to have a respectable video. while we're in here, let's move this. Don't need this anymore. Let's close this before we forget. Close the hatch and leave it open and end up with rain coming in. Okay, let's see. Open this table. See if that lights up enough to make this workable. Okay, that doesn't light up enough. What's going on here? Oh, what's going on? Okay, let's turn this around and see what we can see here. Okay, let's see if we get enough light from this, between the light from the computer and the light from the solar lights. Yeah, so from this sitting this angle, there's a better breeze than there was on the other side. Yeah, pibble beans. I like beans, so you got to think of what to do with beans. We've done beans as wieners, done beans with. Can't remember what else had beans. Beans and steak. So we'll come up with another beans. And the thing about beans is they keep forever in a can. So they're good food to keep on a boat. And yeah, propane stove, either a burner stovetop or a built-in Force 10 will heat up a can of beans quite nicely and make it a good meal. Yeah, so it's getting really dark. That's interesting. But yeah, now I'm being illuminated by the computer to some extent, and it's amazing. Like, it's only well, it's 8:50, so it's almost 9. So the Hey, Paran, thank you for coming aboard. Wonderful to see you. Yeah, romantic is maybe not the... It is romantic. You know, when you look at the... out on a boat with the lights. We were supposed to have had the Perseid meteor showers yesterday. Now we had a bit of cloud cover, so I saw nothing, and then I lost interest in it anyway. But I wonder if we're going to get more of it later on. I don't know what the Perseid meteor showers are. We're in Canada, Pernod. We're in Canada. It's interesting now, even though there's trees and a building in the way, I'm looking in the other direction, and I do see a bit of an orange sunset sky. Certainly the sunset, I think sunset is 8:30, so we're well past sunset at this point. Let's just zoom over here and check this out. So now we're going to lose some of the light from the we still get enough light from the computer to light up my my face. I hear Canada geese going overhead. So, well, they're not quite overhead. I guess they're a little bit off behind me in terms of where I am right now. But they make an interesting honking sound. That and you'd think, like, if there's 20, 30 in the flock, that hey, I Cherish, thank you for coming aboard. Nice to see you. I don't think I've been on your channel in a while. That's not true. Last week. I do remember. Nice to see you. Appreciate the company. It is calm. It's getting late. The picture still shows up pretty good. It's much darker than it appears in the picture on the computer. And yeah, so it is much darker. But I hear a boat coming in. I don't think it's our neighbor. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Him and his dog. It's beautiful. This guy's first boat, CNC 29. Yeah, CNC 29. 27. 29. A bit older, probably 90s. But it looks like it's in good. It's in good shape. Never fished in the Gulf of America. Never been on the Florida side, on the Gulf side of Florida in my life. I thought about it from time to time, but never worked out. I did do a big consulting project for a guy with a condo in Fort Myers, and I did keep waiting to get invited to spend time there. I would have rented the place, but it never came up, and I never made an issue of it, so we never, it never happened, and I don't have a client anymore, so it's a missed opportunity. My Florida experience has all been on the ocean side, Atlantic side. Basically from top to bottom, from Orlando, Cape Kennedy, that whole stretch of West Palm Beach, all the way down to Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Miami, Key West. That's all I know about that part of the world. Shark season. That's true, yeah. I'm starting to see more news articles about shark sightings and beaches being closed because of sharks. We have no sharks here. Really, there's nothing in the water that'll eat you here that I know of. I don't think there's anything in the water that that's dangerous here. So it's a pretty tame wildlife environment. The closest I got to getting attacked by a fish, I remember as a kid, used to go catfishing with my dad, and catfish fishing. And they have a really spiny gill. And I remember once I tried to get my hands around the head, and this thing stuck his gill out and it did poke into me. But that's as close to getting attacked by Canadian Fish Wildlife as I can think of. Sail catfish. I've seen sailfish in the Bahamas. I guess it wasn't Bahamas. I guess it was British Virgin Islands. Went sailing there and saw sailfish, but or flying fish. I guess there's a difference between flying fish and sailfish, isn't there? Sailfish have the big dorsal fin, and flying fish fly through the air. Yeah, I hear the geese flying around. We never did get our swan. We never did get our ducks. Usually end up with ducks coming by, and sometimes the camera will pick them up and they'll join us for a while. No wildlife today. So maybe it was the rain that kept them away, or they decided they'd go somewhere else. So no wildlife came for a visit. It's getting quiet here. Some of the air conditioning machinery of the marina buildings. Car driving by, somebody's out there. Come in for the evening or pick up their stuff for the evening. But it is a quiet marina. And they, like the downtown marinas, much noisier, like Marina Key West or Marina 4. These are right downtown. And my understanding, from a distance, is that people that keep their boats there are looking to be seen more than to have a place to keep their boat. And now I've sailed with people out of Marina 4, which is right downtown at Reeve Street, so that's like across from the Rogers Center. And yeah, it's somebody mentioned romantic earlier, so who mentioned romantic? Paran mentioned romantic, and this guy would basically it was a way to pick up women. I want to come down to my boat, so how's the son go? Come on down to my boat, baby. it worked. I've stayed on boats at the Ontario Place Marina when that was open. It's been closed for a couple of years. It'll be open again in a couple more. There's doing some renovations. And again, the people that I talked to there basically wanted to be seen because it's you can sit on your boat and all the people that are walking by are going to admire your boat and potentially admire you. Hey, Jake. Yeah, it's turned into a nice evening. As I say, in reality, it seemed to be pretty dark, but the phone camera seems to be still going pretty strong. And I'm lit up by the computer to some extent. And there's a light on the floor in the cockpit here. And I bought a bunch of hanging, dangly solar lights that aren't very bright, but there's a whole bunch of them, a string of them, so they create enough light that the camera is not unhappy. Now I haven't looked at it up close, and the video quality could be pretty bad. But hey, pin message. Thank you for coming by. And Gator Saw, bunch of people. Yeah, Gator Saw, another boat person. Airboats in Florida. Never been on an airboat. It'd be kind of interesting, you're sitting there and there's a big propeller in the back. It's going to chew you up if it comes loose. But yeah, no, he's got some interesting boats and interesting adventures with the boats that he's working on down there. So he's got, if you're at all interested in boats, somebody said earlier, Pibble was talking about people liking boat work. Gator Saw's boats are kind of interesting. I'll keep that in mind there, Gator. Don't know when it's going to happen, but we'll keep that in mind. Absolutely. It would be kind of neat skimming like through the Everglades, so that there's vegetation everywhere, and here you are in a boat and zooming through it. And I've never seen an alligator. I do admit to having eaten either alligator or crocodile at Key Largo one year. Yeah, so another boat person. We're attracting all the boat people. So thank you for coming aboard. Yeah. Scottish fishing yacht. Yeah, I'm not going to get there. I can see getting to to Florida at some point in the future, but I can't see a trip to the Isle of Wight in anywhere near the near future. But yeah, there's something interesting about boats. It's always it's a lifestyle kind of thing. We haven't gone sailing as much this year as in other years. I hurt my foot, but I'm afraid to jump off onto the dock. But there's another plane going overhead. But just coming down and sitting here and doing this. Hey, G-Body, thank you for coming aboard. Let's give you a wrench. Network. Know you're from the Chevy Addict community. So we're talking about people fixing boats. Well, here's people fixing cars. And so it's another whole lifestyle of getting involved in making things work. It's yeah, I've had my share of GM products. Never unhappy with them. I had my share of Fords and my share of Chryslers, Dodges. Never anything European, never anything Japanese, never anything Korean. So I've been happy with the cars that I've had. Hey, M. Fayez, thank you for coming aboard. Nice to see you. Chains and pulleys, yeah. It's. I mean, the gearbox on a boat doesn't do very much. The quotes transmission on this thing is basically forward and reverse, and the manual says, well, I got to change the oil every year, but the thing gets absolutely no motion. So I stick my finger in the little hole. It's still wet. Then it's good to go. Engine oil, yeah, every few years. Should do it again this year, but again, this engine runs 10 hours a year. I guess there's a little bit of if there's acidic compounds in the oil, that's not good for the engine. But that'll be an adventure. Maybe do it live. I mean, the thing is, it doesn't take that long. So I got one of those vacuum oil extractor thingies, and you suck out the oil and pour in some new oil, and maybe do it twice to flush it out a little bit if you're worried about the acidic compounds in the oil. But the motor is, what, 24 years old, 25 years old. It's a Yanmar. Lasts forever. It's a diesel, and diesel creates different kinds of gases as opposed to gasoline as well. So maybe that doesn't get affected by the not being changed that often as much. So it is getting really dark out here. I don't see the light in the picture anymore. I see the light reflecting off of a couple boats, but the sky has lost all of its light here, and we're too far from the city to get any light pollution from the buildings. I mean, it's a good place to stargaze if there was any, if there wasn't clouds. But I should check to see if this presage shower thing is a one-day event or whether it goes on for more than one day. Yeah, maybe we'll do the oil change live, and then once the oil has been changed, then just segue into talking about the zen of Yanmar engine maintenance. I wonder, there's a book there, right? There's the zen of motorcycle maintenance. You could do a whole book on the zen of Yanmar maintenance. Now, if all you're doing is changing oil every 3 years, I guess I should actually put a new air filter in. I bought a fuel filter, didn't put it in yet. Partly because I hate bleeding the fuel lines, and they make such a mess. And I guess there's really no easy way to know whether you need a new fuel filter, short of the thing not running anymore. Power-wise, I had it running at 3,000 RPM. I get 3 knots out of that. I replaced the propeller. The boat came with a 2-blade propeller. I put a 3-blade propeller in it, and the propeller people said, well, they went down, I think, a ½ inch in the diameter of the propeller. And I
Okay, so can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me turn on the sound here. Hello? Hello? Okay, so the sound will be quieter. Um, this partly because I'm about 2 feet from the camera, and the problem is that the battery on the remote microphone has died. So I'm going to go charge it up for a few minutes. It's interesting. It used to be this battery lasted for 2 evenings, and now it's going to be not last as long. So let me just go down and plug in the battery for this remote microphone, Bluetooth microphone. So let's see if we can make this microphone talk while it's charging. Too much technology here. Oops. Electrocute herself in the process. Okay, so now there's the charging. Oops. So bear with me while I screw around with this. What I want to see is, can I use the microphone while it's charging? So let's see. Can we hear ourselves? Can we hear ourselves think?
Is anybody home? Can you hear ourselves? Can we hear ourselves think? Okay, now if I plug it in. Hello? So while it's charging, it won't. Okay, so it won't charge and talk at the same time. So let's just keep going, and then okay. So sorry, there we've got okay. So sorry, there we've got some sound. Some sound and some echo. So let's turn up. Is a bug trying to eat me? Okay, yeah, I think we're getting some bugs, so I might end up giving up on this. So we'll keep talking until the battery on this microphone dies again. Interesting that it lost its signal. And it's interesting that you can't use it to talk while it's being charged. So let's see what comes out of all of this. We've been talking for a couple of hours, and that's sort of what I was hoping we would get. But we still have some people watching, so let's keep talking. So as I say, it's super dark out, but we can see a few boats in the background. I have never been out this late, so I am quite interested in seeing how long we're likely to have enough light. But again, so the light that we've got here is from the computer and from the solar lights. And if I put the computer in front of me, then it looks better. And I guess the reason I have this Bluetooth microphone is if it's windy outside, then I can put the camera in a windy place and still have enough. And now the microphone has it needs charging again, so I'm going to let it charge for a while. I can't see to type, so basically no, I can't see to type. Okay, so the microphone's got 3 seconds of okay, so we lost the microphone for a while. I'm plugging it in to charge it. I can't type enough to make any sense of typing, so we've lost it again. Okay, so we took out the wireless mic. Let's let that charge for a few minutes, and we'll just talk quietly for the next few minutes until that thing has had a chance to charge itself a little bit more. The and we'll just have to get closer to the camera to talk. So, what is there to say? So I saw it coming in. I was hearing the motor going through there. Oh, we lost a few viewers. So maybe what we should do is get to the point where okay, so I think we've lost everybody because we're not talking anymore. I think what we'll do is we'll pull the plug on this. It's been interesting. It's the dark is not that conducive to doing this. So I'm going to thank everybody for having taken the time to come by, and we'll do this again next week. Let's see what we're going to do with this thing. We're going to turn this around. Yeah, so that angle looks pretty interesting.